wasn't ready. Dum 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 dum.
Hey, now a lot of people like this movie, okay?
Why?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what? Everything that's wrong with this movie can be summed up in 4 syllables. PG-13.
You know, let's talk about that, because that, let's just jump right in, really, because there's a lot wrong with this movie outside of that, but that is a major component, and I'll tell you exactly why. People so underestimate the importance of the gore in this movie. I know that makes us sound like psychopaths, but look at it this way.
We are psychopaths!
Look at it this way. If you were to watch an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon and take out the gore, would it be as good?
If you took that PG-13 Itchy and Scratchy cartoon they ran on The Simpsons and turned it into a G cartoon, where, like the one Marge Simpson liked, lemonade? Why, thank you, Scratchy.
Yeah, that's
all
what
they're doing is...
Yeah. But what people forget is that, the gore, adding that much blood in like an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon adds sort of this exploitative element to it that's fun, it's satirical, and it's creative. It's the same thing with here. Mortal Kombat, really, the game when it came out, was very exploitative in its violence.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazingly exploitative, and if that's not your thing, fair enough, I get it, but
it taught me to fear all things Chinese, because old Chinese men just want me to battle with someone else to the death.
Rob, win, fatality.
And I think
Finish him.
It's kind of like going into Shaft and being like, why were they so against whites? That's just what it is. And it doesn't make sense when you make a movie saying, this is the movie, and you have pretty much like, one guy dies, I think, like in the whole thing, or maybe 2. I
don't remember what it was. I just remember leaving that cinema and thinking it was a really low body count for something called Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I should have been seeing people just... There should have been bodies just falling from the sky. Whenever it rained, it should have been raining bodies and blood. That's Mortal Kombat.
That really is what it is. I mean, now Mortal Kombat has gotten to a point where it's like the fatalities are so over the top and so crazy and so extreme that that's what you look forward to.
That would make an amazing movie.
Yeah, and they don't do any of that. And granted, back then, I don't know if they had like quite the quote-unquote technology like what they can do in the games, like CG-wise. But you know what? No, but you look at so many of the practical effects like in RoboCop and Total Recall and stuff. You could have done it.
Oh, RoboCop makes the Mortal Kombat movie look like the freaking Care Bears. I mean, like that's the thing. It's Mortal Kombat, and yet it is such a weak-looking movie. Like it's a pansy-ass movie. Like the hardly any blood or gore or anything.
I will say this, actually, we were talking about the look of it. The look, see, this came out very close to Street Fighter, so everyone's argument when it came out was, well, at least it's not Street Fighter, and that's sort of...
So what? That's like saying, well, at least it's a Nui Bowl movie. That's bottom of the barrel!
Yeah, no,
you can go nowhere but up
I totally agree, but I will say that the actual look of the film, because this was when Super Mario Brothers came out and Street Fighter, none of these movies based on games were looking like the games at all. This, at least... like maybe 50% of it actually looked like the game. Sub-Zero looked like Sub-Zero, Scorpion looked like Scorpion, but then you got stuff like, Raiden did not look like Raiden.
And that I knew already that we were both going to have some good laughs and be in big trouble simultaneously when, Christopher Lambert first shows up with the whole peasant, like, Asian peasant hat.
I wore the pointy hat!
And just does this, like... Like, he has the weirdest look when he first shows up. He's like cross-eyed or something. He's like, "Arr," and I'm like, what the hell is this?
And that's like their one pointy hat moment. So like, he's kind of wearing what Raiden wore
in his fantastic Raiden voice. Here to challenge you in a game of Mortal Kombat.
Very Kirk Douglas.
You incompetent fool! Out, you incompetent fools! I knew it. Raiden liked the old Elvis. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I love Christopher Lambert, but, like, it's just one of those things I'm like, okay, well, I think he realizes he's in a goofy movie.
Well, and fucking, they get Kano, who almost kind of looks like Kano. He's got a little too much hair and stuff, but whatever, looks, and then he fucking talks, and everyone thinks, everyone thinks I'm, like, against the accent. Like, they're always like, oh, stop picking on his accent. No, I'm making fun of the fact that he has a goofy fucking voice.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, like, someone can say I have a weird voice. It's not my American accent.
Johnny
I have a goofy fucking
Cage,
voice.
who is just insufferable. fucking insufferable. We just got done watching Fantastic Four, and I mean, like, he just makes Chris Evans in Fantastic Four look perfectly likable. Like, I'm like, wow, I'll take the flaming torch over Johnny Cage any day.
So everyone, that surprise. Anywho.
Why? What does it matter?
What does it matter? I guess nothing.
Tamara's gonna post her Vine, and they're gonna figure it out anyway. They figure it out with less.
I mean, true, but anyway,
well,
honestly,
why
it's
don't
never
you just cut this out.
No, it's honestly not that big a deal to me anyway. So, but no, it's just like you just.
I'm just saying when I saw.
there with that.
I'm just saying when I saw Fantastic Four the movie.
But which one?
On
Wait,
TV,
you said Chris Evans, so yeah, shit.
Yeah, the one with the one with Chris Evans. I just remember thinking, well, at least he's not as bad as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat.
Well, and
now he's a perfectly serviceable Captain America. So, Liu Kang, who just.
Replaced with anyone.
Random Asian actor vaguely doing a Bruce Lee thing. Like, it was just, there was nothing to that character.
Goro at the time was an impressive effect.
That was pretty
the
good.
lips are still a little off, but it's like, he's still impressive, and he's actually there. I give the movie credit. All the CG in it, they could have CG him and they didn't, so I really give him credit.
How does the Shang Tsung from the game, the old-ass, crusty Shang Tsung from the game, come off as more intimidating than this guy in this movie? Like, I'm just like, I still, the old Shang Tsung watching the match with his, like...
Yeah, he's intimidating.
Yeah, with his
in the game.
White eyes just... He is, like, more scary than this guy in this. He had that one scary effect where he turns into the skull, that jump scare at the beginning, and I'm like, well, that's as scary as it gets.
Well, and I think part of it is it's kind of the Yoda effect, that even though it's, like, very old, right, you get a feeling he could just, like, move a finger and you'd be like, your head would explode or something. So you kind of had that going, because he would just sort of sit at his throne, and that was it. He was just like, what the fuck's that guy gonna do? I don't know.
Well, he's the old, like... Shaolin Zen master who's like all powerful. See, he's like the emperor.
Yeah.
Like, from Return of the Jedi. Like, you just know he's badass because he won't do anything because he's that badass.
He doesn't need to do anything. And this guy, I mean, he's got the martial arts and everything. Once in a while he'll look cool in like the coat or something, but for the most part, he's just like, your brother's soul is mine! And it's like, you're trying way too hard, dude. Yeah.
Eat more scenery. I'm trying to think. How do you mess up Mortal Kombat?
It is like the most basic, easiest thing.
Itself.
But like I said, I feel like I do have to give some credit because it is not... It's nowhere near like the worst that we've seen.
No. There's been way worse, but that's the thing. It's Mortal Kombat. You can say there's way worse, but there should have been way better out of Mortal Kombat.
It's surprisingly. I mean,
you could have given me 12 people in cage matches to the death that ended with them all ripping their heads off, hearts out, and bodies exploding. I would have been perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
I didn't even need
like,
a damn plot. I didn't need a damn plot. I just needed violence and
it'd be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think when I'm watching this as like, I saw this when I was like maybe 14 or something like that.
Yeah, and I was 16, and can you imagine? Like, that's what it was. It was like the disappointment of being at just the right age as a teenager and going, this is going to be awesome, and then being like, what's with the PG-13 crap?
Well, when I was younger, I was very half and half, because like I said, I was a little optimistic, because at least, like I said, after the pain of fucking Mario Brothers and Street Fighter, I was like, at least it looks like the game, and at least it has something connecting a little bit to the story. But those were never the big elements of Mortal Kombat. The big thing in Mortal Kombat was the gore exploitation. It was the blood exploitation.
Well, and you would have thought they would have learned that after Street Fighter. That story maybe is not the strong suit of these games.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you should bank on something else other than story. And when Mortal Kombat tries to tell a story, it's painful. Not as painful as Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but at least I give that movie some credit, Annihilation, for being so batshit insane. It's like The Room. It's almost
like really enjoyable.
Yeah, it is The Room. It is The Room of video game movies. It's hilarious how bad it is. I can't even say that about Mortal Kombat. It is just meh. From frame one,
dull.
Yeah,
it's a dull movie.
It's a boring ass movie. Mortal Kombat is a boring movie.
Yeah, at least Annihilation is entertaining and how bad it is, and crazy and weird. It's like this one, it's like, starts off kind of interesting. Like, you set up the characters. They all kind of look the part, you know? They're not all the best actors, but whatever, they look the part. Sub-Zero and Scorpion come in, you know, oh shit, are they gonna fight each other? Usually the deadliest of enemies, but seeing how this is the movie and everyone wants to see that, we're not going to see that. Now they're gonna be together because you want to focus more on, you know, Sonya asking for help or Johnny Cage learning not to be egotistical. Yeah, that's what we fucking want in a Mortal Kombat
I wanted more.
movie.
I wanted more scenes with Johnny Cage. Thank you. You read my mind.
And then somewhere, like, even just by dull or bad movie standards, it just becomes really dull because they kind of get to this place. You're getting used to this place. You know, it looks kind of neat for a bit, and then you kind of get tired of looking at it. And then Goro's there, and he looks pretty cool. You kind of get tired of looking at him, and everything just overstays its welcome.
I like the sequel better in the way some people kind of like Batman and Robin because it's so stupid. At least it's got that.
Yeah, no, I much rather watch the sequel more, but that's not saying it's better. No, it's actually so bad, it's at least entertaining. Though.
It at least had the virtue of being hilariously awful, whereas Mortal Kombat is just bad.
And it's a dull film.
And yet, so many, like, I still, whenever I mention that, people are like, how dare you? Like, can he say that? Can he say he doesn't like Mortal Kombat? I'm like,
you played the game, right?
Like, you did play the game. And I always look at it, and like, people my age, that's the funny thing, people my age or older, like, look at me like I'm out of my mind. I'm like, I'm sorry, did you play the game?
The only thing I'm thinking...
Did you play it? Because if you played it, you'd realize how terrible this movie is.
Again, I think maybe a big part of it is that... Because like I said, when I came out of seeing the movie, I knew it was PG-13, so I went in and I was like... You know, my 14-year-old mind's like, it's okay, it wasn't too bad, whatever. And I think it's because, like I said, the video game movies before it were just so terrible and so not connected to the game at all. I was just happy to get even, like, the tiniest drop connecting to the game, you know? And I did see Sub-Zero and Scorpion on the big screen. I saw Reptile, you know, on the big screen. You know, that was kind of neat. You know, I saw Liu Kang do his kick. You know, I saw them do the stuff that I saw sometimes happen in Mortal Kombat, but not the really cool stuff I wanted to see. You know, not the rated R stuff.
So we went from worst to just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I mean, I think that's...
But yeah, here's that, I watched it again. That's the difference.
I think that's part of it. That's part of it, and the other thing is the intro. I just think the soundtrack probably, like...
This is one of the best... That song is one of the best songs, like, it's like fucking all time.
That intro is like fucking crack for your ears. Because I swear to God, I think what happened is people saw the intro, they got swept up in the credits, and they're like, Mortal Kombat! And then rode that high throughout the rest of the movie.
See, that's what happened with me and Batman Forever, because even though the movie's bad, it's like that opening when you're 13 years old and you see these names coming and there's the Batman and the big Forever and there's Batman doing his fucking ass, there's the it's like,
you freaking
oh my God, I just
me
wrote
to that insisting it was better than the first Batman.
No, I didn't say it was better than the first Batman.
You did.
I said it was better than the last one. It was better than 2.
Better than the last one, and you said it was either on, but you said it was as good or better than the first Batman.
I was in beautiful denial. And let me tell you
I think that's how Mortal Kombat worked. I think people just rode the high of that, intro song. The song that got played in dance clubs across the country.
It's still being played sometimes.
Yeah, still being played.
I mean, and let me tell you, I've been there, guys. I've been there. That denial feels so good. It's incredible. I bet some of you are still feeling it for, like, the Star Wars prequels.
I've got friends who literally, when I'm just like, yeah, that movie's no good, Mortal Kombat, they'll be like, yeah, but great soundtrack.
Yeah, I agree.
That's, every single person says that, and I hear the same thing about the Matrix sequels. Even those that don't like the Matrix sequels are just like...
Space Jam has a phenomenal soundtrack.
And I'm like, hey, that's great. I'll go buy the soundtrack. I don't want to watch the freaking movie.
Yeah, just skip the story and characters attached to it.
I'll blast that fucker in my car. Like, but yeah,
that soundtrack is what made Smosh a name.
Yeah, a good soundtrack does not equal a good movie. Sorry, equals a great soundtrack.
Yes,
great soundtrack.
It's amazing.
Great soundtrack.
No,
great
honestly,
does not equals slash through it. Good movie.
Like every time I see this, you know, the few times I've seen this movie, like you press play, and as soon as you see the new line, you just hear Mortal Kombat. I just want to see him go. I want to go insane. I want to just like jump out a window and like beat up whoever the fuck's in front of me.
I think that's what happened. I think inside that Mortal Kombat song are subliminal messages, or they've released some sort of toxic gas that put us
play it again at the
that gave
end.
us a giant high, and then it lasted all the way through the end of the movie, and then we left. We're like, that was amazing. But then you watch it again, like without seeing the intro, and I'll bet you'd be like, huh. I'll bet you. Yeah, watch Mortal Kombat without watching the opening credits and tell me it's as good. I'll bet you a number of people will do that and be like, I realize how boring this movie is.
But they play it like 3 or 4 times in the movie, and it's like it can make
Okay, do this. Whenever they play that song, mute it and tell me if
some of the fighting doesn't look as good. It's like just a lot of slow-mo, boom, and guys flipping.
It's really bargain basement martial arts stuff. I guess that kind of bugged me too. I kind of expected more... I kind of expected better martial arts out of it, I guess, because I'm like, well, at least it's gonna have, like, really kick-ass martial arts choreography, and I was like, it was okay. Like, it wasn't bad. But I still didn't feel like this is like, oh, this sets a standard. Like, you can watch any Jackie Chan movie, mop the floor with it.
Yeah.
As a good example, Jackie Chan's really good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've seen better.
Yeah. You know, when this film came out, like I said, I would give credit that this was not at the age yet where every action film had to look good. Because that is the thing now, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, but every action film has to have a visual identity to it. And this is that time when it didn't. So I think those tiny little touches, you know, that it did look like the game, it was visually interesting for the time, you know, and it did have that soundtrack. I think that was enough for, like, a younger audience, really a PG-13 audience, to go in and say, you know, yeah, that was great, I like it, I got out my, you know, I played in a movie. This was the equivalent of 15
its target audience, you've said it best, is PG-13, which means anywhere from ages 7 through about, like, 18, like, basically 7 to 13, basically, is what I'm thinking. And I don't want a motherfucking Mortal Kombat movie I can take my kids to! Who wants that? Who does that? Sorry, this movie bothers me. Like, I'm still bitter decades later. I can still feel the disappointment crushing my heart like a great fatality movie.
But hey, it's okay. See,
Mortal Kombat wins. Bad movie. Disappointment.
This is why they're doing so many fan films and stuff like that. It's because the original was just so good, and they know that just variations of it are not going to be as good as that original, that they're like, well, let's try to make it gory and gritty and dark anyway. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I don't know what else there is to say. It's not like there was much plot or anything. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, the one thing that always...
I love Christopher Lambert just because I think he's the only one that realizes he's in a bad movie.
Yeah, God, I'm trying to think
won't
of it.
fight in a tournament.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that was like... I mean, not all of them are god awful annoying, but it's like
that's really good, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone that was like that. That was an enjoyable performance to watch. I'm like,
come on, Sonya was amazing. She existed.
She powdered her lips and said, "Where is he?" You know, well, that was something I was gonna get to too. Because okay, it's not like Sonya was. Did anyone pick Sonya in the game? Nobody did. You know, but it's like you make her one of the main characters. Like I said, she's got the look. She looks cool. You know,
they got way better in future games at making better female characters.
Oh no, Katana was fucking awesome.
Sonya wasn't even interesting looking. Sonya had nothing special about her.
She had no cool moves. She
literally was the token female character.
Yeah,
like it's like, all right, put something with breasts and a ponytail. Yeah. That's pretty much all the thought that went into Sonya's character.
Yeah, even like, you know, Johnny Cage, you know, and Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Sonya. I mean, it's like
the future games did way.
No, they got so many
tap with their killer fans and then like
they're doing all the cool shit.
The hell was her power? I don't even remember.
They kicked her out of the last game. Remember, she's like in the background, like chained up, like, you know, wasn't that bad, guys? Come on.
I remember that. That's
yeah. Sorry, we got some good chicks this time.
But
what I was gonna get to is that, you know, they all have to learn something. Again, I really want to fucking see that Mortal Kombat. But Sonya's big thing is that, you know, she. Johnny Cage was, you know, don't be an egotistical prick. Liu Kang's was like, you know, let go of the guilt of your brother or something like that. Hers was...
You remember more than I do.
No, I mean, I could be getting these wrong, but I just remember hers was, learn to ask for help. Because,
Raiden's was avoid Highlander 2.
But what I was going to say is that, because I make a big point about this in the review, is that she succumbs to the dumbass in distress thing. Like, she's totally capable and kicks Abby, she's totally done all this shit, and then at the end, just like... Shang Tsung comes in, just puts her arm behind her back. She's like, "Oh,
that's right.
Oh my
that's
God,
right. I totally remember that.
I was just
yeah.
one of those things. I guess
And
that
it's
was
like, Jesus, weren't you some sort of like trained U.S. Wasn't she in the U.S. Special
something
Forces?
like that? Yeah,
and like I'm just like, wow, we suck.
No, and like on top of that, it's like it's not like even if you're gonna do that bullshit, it's not like she's like oh you son of a bitch, I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna. She's like and she's like screaming and wailing her arms. Sorry, that was really loud. Wow, probably broke the mic. But it's one of those things where it's like, and really your big thing that we're gonna build up here is that you need to learn to ask for help. You need to learn how to ask a guy to save you and stuff. That's because we haven't seen that much in the 90s.
When you put it like that, you make it sound almost sexist,
right? So it's just one of those things.
You're just some social justice warrior, Doug.
I don't know. I think that's the point.
You demand characters with brains. How dare you?
No, but that's the point where I think I was starting to notice this stuff, at least in the early 90s. I think stuff has gotten a lot better. There's still shit, but it's gotten better. But that was the point where I was starting to notice, like, yeah, something's up. Why are all these really tough, cool ladies like suddenly have to be saved in the last third or have to rely on someone else? And that's what I was trying to say, like, yeah, what's going on here? Like, this
I don't
isn't
disagree with you.
enough.
I'm just amazed you put that much thought into it. Like, that would have required so much thought in Mortal Kombat that I didn't even register.
Well, no, I don't think they're thinking it. They're just like, oh, well, it's like the Sonya in the first game. Well, we got the chick. It just... I don't know. She's not the main character. I mean, what boy's gonna buy a Black Widow doll, So
we'll change her character up a bit. We'll give her red hair. We'll put her in a yellow jumpsuit, and we'll change her name to April.
Yeah. I mean,
oh God.
No, but even April had a personality compared to her. That's why I was starting to notice that. I was always like, I thank this movie for being kind of the tipping point where I'm starting to say, okay, what the fuck's going on?
The other thing I'll say. Just like great soundtrack, this was another bait and switch because great trailer.
Yeah, the trailer
also
amazing.
Riding on the soundtrack, but the trailer is legitimately good and makes the movie look way more serious and gritty than it ever was. And when they do the whole rundown of names, it was like,
you're like,
yeah, Sub-Zero, Sonya.
Yeah, no, honestly, even Sonya, I was like, I'm excited to see Sonya in this movie.
But Kano's sitting there like, I'm gonna kick some. And then when you hear Kano in the movie, I'm like, oh no. No. Like, all of these characters, like, looked badass in the trailer, and then in the movie, I'm like, oh no.
If you have not seen, there's two trailers that were, like, just gave us the most disappointing films, but the trailers are still amazing.
It was kind of like the Avengers trailer of its day, because I just remember all of these 13-year-old boys, like, in the crowd, were all like, yeah!
No, I don't even remember that. I remember everybody was like, my God, they did it. They finally did it. We are going to see a video game movie that's actually the video game. We were, of course, so disappointed.
I famed the top of the mountain, Beavis, and I bet
God.
Actually, it was that, and can I get a new pair of jeans? I may have just jizzed myself.
Like, the Mortal Kombat, and actually the Super Mario Brothers trailer, the original, not the I got the power, not that shitty-ass trailer, because everyone
there was a difference, though, because
there is just, I'm telling you right now, there is a trailer.
But the original Super Mario Brothers one, that one kind of was more like, the kids were really into it. Like, but Mortal Kombat, it was like anybody between the ages of 7 and 25.
Yeah, was just legitimately excited.
Blew their load on that.
But those are two trailers that if you just want to see, like, fucking amazing trailers, go see the Super Mario Bros. That opens with the mother dropping off the kid, and then, like, you see Koopa in the rain. That's the one. That's a great trailer. And then the Mortal Kombat trailer. They are both amazing. And I, like, just watch that a million times as opposed to put on these shitty-ass movies.
Watch that trailer, and then maybe you'll figure out why I was
We were let down.
Yeah, like, because every time I see that trailer, like, occasionally we'll rent, like, another movie.
I want to fucking see this movie.
And I'll see the Mortal Kombat trailer, and I'm just like, man, it's doing it again. Because right now I'm just like, I'm gonna put on Mortal Kombat, and I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna be disappointed. Stupid trailer.
It is amazing. I can watch that trailer forever.
So what have we discovered? Mortal Kombat, one of the greatest soundtracks ever, and one of the greatest trailers. Not so much on the movie.
No, not a very good movie, but I give it credit that, I mean, if you really like it, go ahead.
I'm not saying you can't like it. I just understand where
won't.
some of us come from. Those who dare
Yeah, because there are so many that are just
those who
fucking
dare
shocked,
to not like Mortal
oh
Kombat.
my god,
Yeah.
how is it possible
like
not to like
we exist.
PG-13 Mortal Kombat?
We exist. We live in your universe. We're gonna have to find a way to get along. That's all I'm saying. And, yeah, you know what? We're like mutants, and I'm just saying, if you can learn to understand my viewpoint, I'll learn to understand yours. I get it. You like it. Maybe you were a kid when you saw it, or maybe you're just like, I just fucking like Mortal Kombat, and the soundtrack's awesome. Okay, cool. Like, and you know what? From there, maybe we can finally achieve world peace.
Maybe you get a little dirty, you a lot clean. Somewhere in between PG-13 Mortal Kombat.
Doug, take this review and shovel it.
Close enough. I'll end it there.